You think the X-Men?
We are live, by the way.
You think the X-Men would beat the Avengers?
Do I think the X-Men would beat the Avengers?
Yeah, I mean the basic ones.
See, that's a weird question because most of the X-Men have been an Avenger.
Well, right. I'm talking just the cinematic universe.
Oh.
No comic books here. What you've seen
They're certainly outnumbered.
Yeah, I think X-Men would defeat the Avengers. Jean Grey. I mean, just Jean Grey.
The force of the Force of the Phoenix.
Jean Grey.
In game.
It's over.
What about if Doctor Strange can manipulate?
Can she see him?
She can do anything.
She can get in his head.
Jean Grey.
Yes, Jean Grey could, I believe, get in Doctor Strange's head.
Jean Grey. Yeah.
I think we talked. Yeah.
X-Men all the way.
The minute I get in your head, I control your power.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Jean Grey.
Yeah.
You know all you need to do to
and you can't get into Jean's mind.
You know all you need to do to screw up Doctor Strange is you need to get Rogue in like an invisible outfit and then just have her go.
Oh, and yeah. Well, see, she absorbs mutant abilities though.
Oh, that's right. He doesn't have a mutant ability.
He's not. He's Sorcerer Supreme.
Interesting point.
And really, like I said, from what I've heard and on the trailers, because he has that ring on, which looks like Infinity Stone, the Time Stone to be exact. To me.
I don't know. That'd be crazy.
But there's still Guardians of the Galaxy 2 coming out.
We are live on Facebook on Facebook. We are live on YouTube right now, and what you're getting right now is some of the behind the scenes banter, some of the stuff that we talk about before the important stuff.
Yeah, this is what we go at.
This is the behind the scenes blooper reel, if you will. Blup blup blup.
But for
the barbecue.
But for the Marvel fans out there, I love this.
We love Marvel here. So that's
very big fans. Very big fans of really any comic book movie that comes out.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. I saw the Superman versus Batman.
Well, that's DC though.
Right. I mean, still comic book related,
right,
and whatnot. I mean, like you said, we're Marvel fans.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, you haven't seen Man of Steel yet. Man of Steel is really
It was really good.
Fantastic, wasn't it? Fantastic. Explained everything you didn't know about Superman, why he does what he does. Basically, Superman origin.
What about like what Jay and Silent Bob are talking about Superman, and Jay's like, no woman could have his baby.
Well, for one, Kryptonians and Earthlings are genetically incompatible. Kryptonians have way too complex a DNA. But other than that, you're right. He would blow through her like a shotgun.
Right. Yeah.
That's what I was getting at. He would blow through her.
Jesus Christ, Gil. There's just some things you don't talk about in public.
That is a big plot. That is a big plot hole. I mean,
right. He cannot impregnate Lois Lane.
No pun intended. Plot hole.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right. There'd be a big hole.
You'll catch on.
Let's see.
Yeah, so today's episode is going to be really good. All of our followers here on YouTube, our YouTube live stream.
YouTube, one word.
Yes, YouTube, one word.
Yeah. At least what it was this morning.
Whoa, what was that? We might have some technical issues here.
No, that was our YouTube live stream. I'm getting the link, and it's on like a 30-second delay.
Right.
So what you heard was 30 seconds ago.
Oh, wow.
Time travel.
Oh, man, that'll tie really well into this week's episode. I think we might have just spilled I think he
did that on purpose.
I think he did. I think his future self came back
and said, "Hey, this would be a
and
great
was like,
thing to
look
do.
at this. We can introduce a little."
See, this would be a good time for you to
glimpse.
take pre-credit because you could come back in the future and told me.
Yeah, well, no, what I did was tell you to do that at the beginning of episode 2.
There you go.
Well, it's becoming me then if the timeline's been skewed.
Well, you gave me the idea.
Okay. But I still have to
I took the initiative to tell him. I'm the one that traveled time. I mean, I did all the hard shit here.
That's a quantum leap thing.
Exactly. So I did the hard shit. You gave me the idea. I traveled time. He just did the computer crap.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
I touched you. You touched others.
Yeah, I try.
From there on,
I try.
And it goes on and on and on. Changing destiny.
Oh, yeah. You still got to set up the podcast record?
Podcast is recording right now, but it's not.
They'll edit this out.
It started, obviously.
Yeah, they'll edit this out.
Yeah.
But that's the good thing for all you YouTubers. This doesn't get edited out because we are live for the thousands, for the 3 in attendance, and the 13 or 14 watching around the world.
Tonight's main event,
ladies and gentlemen. You guys aren't gonna pick that up?
Oh, I don't.
Oh man, fuck.
You think I do? You think I do? I don't do Bruce Buffer well.
Let's get ready to rumble.
I was letting you finish your line there.
All right, gents.
Are we ready?
We are live on the old Facebook.
We're Facebook Live?
We're not Facebook Live, sorry.
Okay.
We are YouTube Live. We could start doing Facebook.
We could Facebook live stream too. We'll do that next week.
I don't know
Facebook
that
Live?
OBS allows for multiple output sources. Like, I don't know if I can do YouTube and Facebook at the same time. I know I can with some other software, but this is the business we've chosen. This software is preset. I spent all the time.
This is our profession.
With YouTube in mind, not Facebook.
While we're still in the blooper reel, I'm going to send out a Snapchat of the studio to all my Snapchat guys.
Snap it
You know
up.
what we need is a Surreal Talk Snapchat.
We
Set
do.
that up.
I will.
That's you.
I will set up a Surreal Talk Snapchat.
Yeah.
All right. Let me know when you're ready. And that's basically that, right?
We are in the studio for Surreal Talk. Oh, give it up, everybody. What's up? We got Sean and Everett. We are in the studio.
There you go.
There it is, sending
There
it
you
out.
go.
My story.
All right, gents. You guys ready?
Hang on. No,
Oh,
we're
you're
not
ready.
just yet.
Snap it. Like
Snap
a
it
Slim
up.
Jam.
I got to send it to everybody.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Hang on. Sorry, YouTubers. It's part of our technological advance here.
Technological?
You got it.
Experiencing technical
You
difficulties.
got gynecological problems, pal.
Gynecological.
Yeah. Your insurance cover that?
I think so.
Not yet.
Oh, excuse
Nice.
me.
Nice.
All right.
All right. Are we ready?
I'm ready if you guys are.
Go.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
This podcast is brought to you by lineupmedia.fm.
That was a UFO beaming back at you. Now, they've been coming here ever since 1946, and they have been living and working among us in vast quantities ever since. The government knows all about them. These leaders have decided to repress this information because of the tremendous shock that it would cause to our antiquated system.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad.
You're listening to Surreal Talk, a look inside the world of cults, conspiracies, and the paranormal. Brought to you by lineupmedia.fm.
Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. The air is unfit to breathe and our food is unfit to eat. Punks are running wild in the street. There's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it.
The whole trick about JFK, 9/11, Area 51, the Illuminati, the moon landings, Jesus and Magdalene, the CIA, KGB, and AIDS, the reptilian elite, Watergate, the New World Order, Bilderberg, the MK Ultra Project, the history of the world and the oppression of the human consciousness, and the truth about God, the devil, heaven, hell, and the delicate fabric of the universe.
You gotta say, I am as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore.
All right.
Welcome to Surreal Talk. I love our intro, by the
It
way.
gets me pumped every time.
I
Yeah,
love
it
it.
does.
So for all the YouTubers, that was pretty fun right there. But
least
anyways,
for us.
welcome to Surreal
I
Talk,
liked it.
a lineupmedia.fm production brought to you this week and, of course, every week
Every week.
by audible.com. If you go to our website, surrealtalkpodcast.com, and find the banner for the Audible to create your own 30-day trial account and get a free audiobook download.
Completely free.
Completely. Oh, yeah. It will cost you nothing.
Nothing.
With no
Nothing.
obligation to continue.
Yeah, no obligation. Yeah.
Ah.
So check it out.
Oh,
It sounds really great.
If your
Absolutely.
eyes are like too lazy to look at words on a page like mine are, hearing them pushed into my ears is the way to go for a book.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sounds good.
And also,
it sounds easy.
if you guys like to do any shopping, please visit our website for. If you're going to do any shopping, I'm sorry, on Amazon.
Yeah, I don't shop in real like
Because if you're going to
real
shop and
life.
shop and save, it really won't do you any good to.
Ain't no free plugs.
Yeah, it won't do you any good to shop on our website. So if you're going to do any shopping on Amazon, go to our website, click the Amazon banner, and anything that you buy is going to directly support our show. I'm not saying we're going to get rich off of it, but I'm saying it's going to directly support the show.
It allows us to pump more into the machine and get more listeners.
Oh, yes,
It
definitely.
definitely helps a lot.
So I wanted to take this chance right here to talk about a few other podcasts that are on the lineupmedia.fm network. One that we have is MexicoThisWeek.com or MexicoEstaSemana.com. Mexico This Week is recorded both in English and Espanol, and the podcast offers a weekly recap of the most relevant economic, political, sports, and cultural news from Mexico. Host Seb Tina comes to you live from the heart of Mexico City, reporting on the nation's most important topics. So I know we have a lot of base down in Central America and Southern America. A lot of listeners from down there. So
Mexico and whatnot.
Figured that's relevant. And
yeah, we got good content. We got a lot of good reviews on Seb's program. He's kind of a madman. He's kind of a controversial figure, if you will. But I'll leave it at that. Take a listen to his show, though, if you've got any kind of base down in Mexico.
And
listen to it. It's good stuff.
Yeah. What was that name again?
Mexico This Week, or Mexico Esta Semana, which is Mexico This Week.
Hosted by Seb Tina. And also,
you can find it on iTunes, just like all of our other shows.
We've had some criticism of us being a little, I wouldn't say hostile, but more critical to women, and I don't see it, but I'm not going to.
Sexist.
Okay, so the lady called me sexist. Anyway, so I'm going to prove that wrong right now by plugging another show here on the lineupmedia.fm network.
This proves nothing.
I'm talking about the Girls Show.
He's offering
the Girls Show is a place where women gather to be inspired and relate to one another. Hosts Nikki and Jen take a fun, lighthearted look at the everyday issues that go along with being a girl in today's world. They mix it up a little bit with style, glam, and fashion. So if you guys are into fashion. You guys probably aren't into fashion. But anyways,
some of
the chicks might be into glam fashion.
Whatever that means.
We got the Girls Show too.
I don't quite understand it, but I'm not going to try.
No, but so here we are back.
Oh, that's why they call it Girls
Show. This is our second episode, and we've got a doozy for you guys today. I know what we're going to talk about, but I only know it because I might be from the future. I've listened to this podcast ahead of time. We're going to talk about.
Wait a minute. You're telling me you built a time machine from a DeLorean?
This is Biff Tannen here, live with Doc.
Spit it out. What are we talking about today?
In case you couldn't tell, we're going to talk about the crazy, crazy subject of time travel. And there's a lot to this one, so we've kind of got it broke up into like 4 parts. So you're going to get like a 4 episode. You're going to get like a 4 episode.
It's all good stuff though.
Time travel. Now, when everyone thinks of time travel, obviously you get to the just the main short of it. Hey, you can go to the future or to the past.
Right.
So, what do you guys think when you think time travel? Because myself, I know everyone goes right immediately. I asked a lot of people this week. I called a lot of people that I know, a lot of my acquaintances, friends, family. And
I heard you called Mom and asked her.
And I did. And I called people and I was like, look, I want to know something because I'm trying to get what people's common conceptions are on time travel. So I asked them a few simple questions, basically like, so when I say time travel, what's the first thing that pops in your head? And 90%, 9 out of 10 people I asked that damn Back to the Future, the DeLorean. So that's very, very prevalent right now.
Thank you, Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, everybody knows about the Back to the Future.
Most people are our age, so that's going to be the first thing you apply to it, obviously.
Right. So, what about you, Sean? What do you think when I say time travel? What's something that pops into your head? What do you have a pre-misconception to about time travel?
Pre-misconception?
Yeah. How are you going to think about it wrong before you even know what it is?
Well, really, yeah, like you said, the first thing I go
back in time for that.
Yeah, I gotta go back in time here. No, first thing you said, like I go straight back to the Future rules,
as a lot of people do.
But there's many rules of time travel.
Right. This is true.
So I really don't have a one-word answer for this.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, dude, it's one of the most loaded questions ever. What do I think about time travel? What time of day is it right now?
I mean, that's like asking me the meaning of life or something. If you're gonna ask me the meaning of life, I can't give you
a good, well, man, it's a very difficult one.
I'm going to go on for a minute.
Here's an interesting one. What about you, Pigpen? When I say time travel, what do you think?
Like I said, it's a loaded question. I think of movies. I think of TV shows that had good time travel episodes.
A lot of pop culture references.
I mean, really, that's where we've learned most of our knowledge is from pop culture movies.
Well, which comes from books like your Time Machine by H.G. Wells.
Right, because
that was kind of before our time. I mean, most people our time,
ancient, like even a Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court by fucking Samuel Langhorne Clemens. What's his name? Mark Twain. It was about a guy that got sent back to King Arthur's time. They made a kid about
right.
That's what that book was about. Yeah, man. That's what that was about, man. George Washington was founded on a cult, man, and the cult was into aliens, man.
That was a good Slater.
Yeah, it was. Sorry about that, but yeah, time travel is just a very and like Biggie was just saying, it's loaded down, and that's why this section of Surreal Talk is going to be a 4-part deal.
Hopefully we can get it to.
Yeah, hopefully we can get 4 good parts.
Hopefully we don't get boring.
Hey, we got a good plan, okay? Yeah, hopefully we don't get boring. So I think we need to talk about, like I said, some of our intros into time travel. A lot of people know about the Back to the Future gig. Different types of time travel.
Let me start out with a preconception of this, and this is why our listeners love to hate me.
Okay.
I don't think it's possible.
You know,
Okay, yeah, there's something, but I was thinking maybe we should have touched on that
I mean,
a little bit
I
later.
don't know.
But
I mean, 100 years.
the possibility of time travel.
That's it. I don't
Right.
think it's possible for us.
I mean, yet again, 100 years ago, people didn't think a TV was possible.
That's fair.
You know, they
Yeah,
didn't think a radio.
internet. What internet? Really? Try explaining that to
Yeah,
somebody
internet,
in the old west, right?
Right, exactly. So
But there's a caveat.
Here
to
we
what I
go.
say. Time travel is not possible the way the way I think about
The
it.
way we perceive it as to be right now.
We don't even know what time is.
well, the same thing. You know,
Well, right, and you know what? There's another interesting question that we have to go
But
to.
they're learning more on this every day, though.
No,
So,
no, you're right. Physics
I mean,
is.
I mean, same
expanding.
thing as splitting the atom. So I think this will only grow, whether that's
one
good or
thing
not.
that's interesting about time, and we'll get into this when we talk about what is time is relative. I'm sure you've heard that term before.
Yeah, time is
phrase.
relative. I've heard
Do you
that.
understand it though?
No,
Time
why don't
is-
you give me a good breakdown on it? Let's hear it.
Time is relative to the observer. So
Okay.
that means every person, every observational thing has its own frame of reference for time. So time for me could be moving at a different speed than what it is moving for you.
I mean, and that's from. I think
That's
maybe
physics. That's true.
Maybe your brain, like let's say an 8-hour workday seems like it drug by, but when you're having fun, it seems like it flies by.
That's a different perception.
No,
of
I think what Big E's referring to is as how like a hummingbird can flap their wings 32 times a second. Now to us that just seems astronomical in our perception
That's
of
not at
time.
all what I'm talking
But to
about.
them,
That's not at all what I'm
that's
talking
very
about.
fast.
I'm talking about physics, like how time works. So time can be affected by
Well,
gravity, right?
Time is, I believe, affected by gravity and light.
Well, we'll get to that. Time
So
warping.
slow me down when you
time
feel
can
like
be-
you need to.
Time warping by gravity was Einstein's general theory of relativity.
Yeah, and what you mean is E equals
Correct.
MC squared.
Well, no, that's not what I mean.
Then what do you mean?
It's not. That's not.
That's
that
why
part
I'm
of it.
asking for the rundown.
So, Right.
Again,
what that
disclaimer:
means-
we reserve the right to be wrong, ladies and gentlemen.
So,
but we're just trying to get this information.
Time
to you.
warping
Yeah,
by
walk me
gravity states that the higher your gravity, I believe it is, the less you experience time. So, say you're on Jupiter where your gravity is way higher.
Okay.
Time will be passing slower for people on that. So when
Okay. So like inside of a black hole, that's the thing where like time will slow so much in a black hole that if
Right.
you were to travel close to the event horizon, time's actually going faster closer you get to the black hole than it would be if your ship was stationed,
Exactly.
a light year, 2 light years away or whatever. Time's traveling.
Yeah, the observers there, like you look. So say you're the one closer to the event horizon. and
Yeah,
you're
it'd
looking out
be
at the
2
other
minutes
ship,
for you, but 30 years for them.
It'd look like they're in fast forward.
Right.
They're
Yeah.
Like, hey, what do you guys
Well,
doing around here?
actually, they say astronauts. Like, what is it? Astronauts that go up into outer space. They go at I think it's like 7,500 miles per hour. When they come back, they're actually younger than us by 1 millisecond.
Right. Oh yeah. Okay. So
Well, did your head and your feet actually experience time at a different level due to the difference pull and gravity of the Earth on your feet and your head, like the distance of how strong gravity gets, because it changes how high you go up.
Right,
Away
right.
from the center of gravity of the planet. 3 femtosecond difference in your perception of the time, actually how fast it actually passes for your head and your feet.
Really?
Which is almost nothing, but it's something.
that's kind of like the old saying, like the tall guy knows
You know
when
what
it's raining
femtosecond is?
first.
It's like
Yeah.
0, like 20,
I get that.
20 zeros and a 3. So it's almost no change in how fast time change or moves.
But it's measurable.
But it's not just perception; it is real. Now they've done experiments by taking 2 atomic clocks, which an atomic clock is a clock that, like how a regular clock works by how you apply electricity to a quartz crystal and it vibrates, and it will always vibrate at the same frequency.
Damn it, man! I'm a doctor, not a physicist.
Well, then I'm telling you, a clock works by
He's
quartz.
like, follow me here.
A clock works by
Oh, come
quartz,
on,
which
you got
vibrates
it.
at a certain amount of times per second, and it doesn't change. So they set up their mechanics to work off of that vibration to change the gears at that certain speed. That's how a clock always keeps perfect time.
Oh.
Now, an atomic clock does something similar with like the rotation of an electron around an atom, which is like super
Precise.
Exactly.
Way more precise.
So they got 2 of these clocks going, 2 atomic clocks that are completely synced up. They sent one up in space where there's less gravity, and it came back down. It had not had as much time pass as the one on the planet.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. The GPS satellites that orbit they're actually in the future.
Well, their
They're
clocks are
at the
set to-
future at apparently 1,000th per second.
Well, their internal clocks are set to run at a slightly faster rate than our clocks.
due to the difference in gravity.
Exactly, to
Right.
keep up.
Oh,
with-
that's interesting,
yeah.
man.
Because if they
Yeah,
weren't,
I thought that was nuts.
then by the time your coordinates got back to you, they would be off. So there's
Ever so slightly, but still off. But
off is off.
But
Yeah.
still, off is off. Exactly right. It's not.
It only travels so fast, so you have to have that delay, I suppose.
Okay, so what is time then? I mean, because that's the
Let me ask some
question.
questions here, just for some good banter here on time.
Okay.
Does time have a beginning or an end? This isn't a question we can answer, but what do you think about it? Did time start?
Well, my first thought of when did time begin? Well, obviously the Big Bang would come into notion.
Right. I mean, that's what I come up with.
That's what I come up with. That's when time first came into existence.
That's the theory of how our existence started.
And as they say, the universe is forever expanding, so time will never end.
Well,
or just time just keeps going along.
Let's take it to
it's never
more
ending. It's never ending.
A primeval thought about time. Is time real, or is time a byproduct of something happening?
Oh, I'm totally with you. I mean, they really made time. Right. They made time kind of around the workday. If you think about it,
that's not what I mean. So take it to a molecular level.
Well,
So if nothing happens on a complete subatomic level throughout the entire universe, nothing has changed. Does time pass?
Right, because nothing's changed at all. No, I wouldn't. I don't know.
That was what was his name? Fucking Isaac Newton.
Is time only a way to measure certain events that happen?
Newton thought that it was that way. Einstein disagreed that time isn't like a set line. That's how he got his relativity, because it could change for different people.
Right.
So no, time doesn't necessarily work that way. It's not like it's a straight line. It's not like it's something it's always a constant. It goes at this speed. It's the same for everybody.
Right. Like you were saying, I think time is a byproduct. I don't think that it's a necessary thing that we have to have. I think
it's just show change.
Exactly. It's just a unit of measurement to show.
You got to have seasons of the year. You got to know hours.
Well,
of the
no,
day.
right, but you're talking on a human perspective.
You're talking on macro level.
We're talking about like the cosmos level of it, right?
Cosmic time, right?
Cosmic time is not.
That's completely different. That's completely different than our time.
Well, right, yeah, and we'll get into that too, because that's a totally different
time at fundamental level.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't think time is necessary to exist. I don't think it needs to exist side by side for space to exist. Do you?
I think it does.
Well, I mean, there's the space-time continuum and a ripple in space-time.
If you're traveling through space, I mean, I think it's good to know how long you've been there. Simple as that.
Right, but again,
whether you're on Earth,
if you're traveling through space, you've got a preconceived notion of what time is.
I mean, time is a unit of measurement.
Essentially, yeah, but I think there's more to it than that. And I just don't think I'm smart enough to understand it.
I do think that is necessary, though.
I think there might be more to it, though, and I just don't think there might be.
There's plenty to it.
Because how would you know to get up at the sunrise? There's a million reasons. So
right, that's your like biological clock, your internal thing on when you get up at sunrise, when you get that right. That is be like a biological clock.
I'm talking about the usefulness of time, just the concept of it.
Here, I think.
Yeah, you're still thinking. You're still thinking strictly on a human level, how we perceive time.
Take humans out of the equation.
Take humans and just pretend like humans had never even evolved into what we were.
Think about it like if a tree falls in the forest. You know what I mean?
There you go. Is anybody no one's around?
Does time pass if there's nobody to observe it?
Well, absolutely.
Or if nothing happens.
Right now, I don't think we know enough about space to even know that. All we know is we can base time in space basically off light and gravity. That's about it.
Basically.
So.
But yeah, I mean that's interesting.
Light and gravity. That's our units of measurement through space.
So if you've got like a planet that's forming in the universe, okay, but so say nothing's happening, it hasn't been bombarded, there's no molecular, nothing's going on, and that's like that for. And I can't even say a billion years, because does time pass when there's absolutely nothing happening?
Let me lay some shit on you here.
You fuck me up with some truth? Hit me with the truth bomb.
Time is different at the beginning, or the inside of the sun, as it is the outside of the sun.
Due to gravity, because the mass is...
So, that said, different places in the universe have experienced different amounts of time since the universe began.
Yeah.
Right,
so
okay.
This section of the universe, it might be 10 billion years old, and it might be 14 billion years old over here.
To them. Our section might be 14 billion to
sucked
them.
In. Yet again, I might be getting ahead of myself, but black holes are so dense that even the gravitational pull that they give, by slowing light down, you're slowing yourself down and slowing time down.
So I had a pretty good, right to what you guys were both saying. I heard something one time that said, if you could beam yourself to 65 million light years away, and you had a telescope powerful enough to observe back here on Earth, you'd be looking at the dinosaurs.
Basically, yeah.
Okay, so if you could warp or beam me up, Scotty, 65.
That's not really time travel.
Well, I'm not talking about time travel. I'm just saying, like, that's just an essence of it, because you would still to you, time would be the same because you just warped 65 million light years away. So I'm still 33 years old. My body's still the same. Nothing's wrong. But when I look in this telescope,
at the speed of light, it would seem like time stopped for you anyway.
Right, but what I'm getting at is if I have a telescope that's strong enough and I look inside this telescope, I'm looking at the same Earth that I just left instantaneously ago. But
and
now I'm seeing 65 million because I'm seeing 65 million years in the past.
Here's what I'm talking. Here's a good way.
Is why it's relevant.
Here's a good way to put it. Here's a good way to put it. They say the first. They say the first waves that aliens closest to us, the first waves they're gonna see is going to be our
way ahead of
is going to be our
right. Yeah, we're breaking into part 2.
You're like, I've got all this stuff I want to talk about,
and I know I'm getting cut. You guys are cutting in on me left and right.
All right, so where are we at on this one? Scientific.
You keep fucking me up. I'm trying to get to a base level understanding of time, but you guys keep coming in with like.
Well, hit us with it. Explain time. Let's hear it.
What was the last thing I was talking about? Okay, the different.
I had a good point, but go ahead.
Motherfucker.
The different what?
I don't know. I'm lost. I'm just lost.
He is lost, ladies and gentlemen.
Let me read through my notes.
He is lost. Lost in
talking, you guys.
Lost in time.
Eric, it's hard to wrap my head around this, and you keep interrupting me.
He's lost in time.
But like I was saying, I think time. The beginning of it goes back to kind of the psychological effect on your mind. Like we were talking about earlier. An 8-hour workday seems like 12, but when you're at home having fun.
Well, I forget who said that. I forget who said that. It said, "Put your hand on a hot stove. A second can seem like an hour, and if you put your hand on a hot woman, an hour can seem like a second."
Yeah, there you go. That's a good one.
Perception of time. Yeah.
Yeah, perception of time.
And that's basically what we were talking about. What time is, and that it's our human mind making the perception of it.
Yeah, but get past that. Take humans out of it. When I want to go to a base, what is time?
Okay, what is time?
That's what I'm asking.
I think we talked. I think we basically broke it down already. I mean, it's gravity and light.
I don't think light has anything to do with time, though.
Are we talking about
time?
I mean, you told me not to talk about humans. I went to the space level. And what other essence of time is there?
All right. So, what do you have? What do you think time is then, Big E?
Okay.
Because I don't know. I have no idea. Obviously, I'm not good. You guys tell me what you think of time.
You were right. That time is just a measurement. So, what if there's nothing changes? Is there a measurement after that? If nothing changes,
by our knowledge we have right now. Yeah, that's where we're at.
So you think time continues to go if nothing happens?
If nothing happens,
if nothing changes,
explain that.
So say time, so something changes in an atom, like an electron goes around it. You can quantify that. Quantify it. That's your time.
It's measurable.
And say in the whole universe, there's always something going on. So you have to increment time because something happens.
So you have to implement time as a way to
show that there's something that happened before.
Okay. So as way this happened before this happened, and you can't have a before or an after without a time scheme.
Yeah. Yet again, it's like a yardstick. It's a way to judge.
Right. So if nothing happens, does time increment? Because time moves only to show that something has happened before. So if nothing happens anywhere, did time move on? That's the big question.
And that goes into.
I don't think so.
I think you can.
That's what Einstein felt too.
I think time can be manipulated. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, I've got a really good explanation right here and this is one of my favorite guys, NGT, man, Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's awesome. And when I was looking for research, I looked for a way to understand how time worked and how it worked with space. So what it is we operate with on a 4-dimensional level, and a lot of people don't we are only 3-dimensional. That's right. We have length, width, and height. On a coordinates, it's your X, Y, Z coordinates. You can plot it. But time, it would be your 4th dimension. Okay, so here you go. If you're going to make an appointment with someone, I would say, hey, you don't give them a time without a place or a place without a time. If I said, hey, meet me at 3:00, you're going to go, where? If I said, hey, meet me at the corner of 27th Street, you're going to go, when?
Yeah, that goes back to it's a basic unit of measure.
So the actual coordinates of your meeting at 33rd Street at 6 p.m., that's 4 dimensions of time that you're doing there. Okay, so 3 space coordinates, 1 time coordinate. But the whole difference is we are prisoners. We're not prisoners of our 3-dimensional space because we can access any point in our 3-dimensional space, left, right, up, down, in any 360-degree angle and anywhere in between. So we're not prisoners of our 3-dimensional space. But we are a prisoner of the present, So this is
an exact quote I pulled out too.
Is it? Yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson was awesome on this. So we're exact prisoners of the present, meaning that we don't have access to the past, we don't have access to the future. But what he was saying, and he's speculating on this, which he tends to do, and I like it. If you were at a higher dimension or consciousness, you could step out of your time dimension and access time like we look at space. How we look at space, and how like Sean was saying with the yardstick right in front of you. If you have a 3-foot yardstick right in front of you and it's laid out, you can measure anywhere from 6 inches, 1 foot, any point along this yardstick you can measure. Okay, so what I'm saying is, if you're at a higher consciousness or in a higher dimension and you wanted to measure time, say they don't have the same constraints, because we don't have those constraints in the space. In space,
like the wormhole aliens from Deep Space Nine, they lived outside of time. They didn't have any conception.
Right. So what I'm getting is, if they can step back out and look at time like we look at a yardstick, and they can jump in at any point of time, they can jump in, jump out. That would definitely be a form of time travel, but it's a different way to look at it.
The writers of Star Trek, they broached it like whenever. See, they were non-corporeal, which means they were ethereal beings. They didn't exist on our same plane. They existed inside of a wormhole.
Okay.
So, and they were trying to communicate with Captain Sisko. Well, at the time he was commander, but neither here nor there. They were looking at his brain, trying to figure out, what is this creature? It doesn't live like we live. It doesn't think like we think. And they're seeing all of his memories, and they don't get that this isn't happening to him right now. They don't understand this happened before.
Oh.
They're like, what is before? He's like, it's what happened before right now. What is now?
Because he didn't have the constraints of time, so he didn't understand what they were talking about?
No, they didn't understand what he was talking about. They didn't understand how his wife died before in his life, and they were looking at his memory. They didn't understand that's not happening to him right now and always. That happened before.
Oh, yeah, that was.
They don't understand there's a before.
That's implanted in his mind.
Right.
I got you. So yeah, memories. A small way to go into the past.
Right. So this time travel thing, this is really nuts, because so I always pick all the topics for the shows, and I was giving Big E some shit last week, and I said, hey man, why don't you pick a topic this time, something you're interested in doing? And when he came up to me and he says time travel, I was kind of like, I know absolutely dick about time travel. Okay, it's like the physics thing.
Really, I think that goes for everybody.
Right. Well, right. Who knows anything about time travel?
Brain exercise, because you know about how gravity affects time, right? So what is gravity, roughly?
Gravity is a force that is made by any object large enough to create its own, with mass enough to create its own. That has mass large enough, it will create its own
gravity. In physics, they define gravity
spit out the Webster's dictionary right there.
Well, in physics, they define it similar to that. Gravity is just the warping of space in the presence of a massive object. That is an object.
That's exactly basically what I said.
So think of it like a sheet that you drop a marble on. Whenever there's something there, gravity is created as a byproduct of that being there.
Okay.
Yeah, and it creates almost a
There's a really good video on YouTube of a physics teacher that explains this really well with a stretched out sheet.
Let me keep going or I'm going to lose this.
Go ahead.
Fuck. Okay, no, I got it. So you take away that object in space, right, that created the gravity. Without gravity, can there be time? So my point is exactly that. If there's no gravity, is there no time in that section of space? So in void, does time exist?
Where there's no gravity and no
is there no time?
No mass is large enough to create gravity.
So is there existence where there is no gravity, which means there is no time?
But wouldn't there still be the baseline for space-time still there, though?
That's an interesting thought.
If time is actually built into the fabric of space, maybe.
But if time is built into the fabric of space, that's the question.
Well, like we were saying, I mean, the two fundamentals of basic space time, gravity and light. If there's no gravity and light, then I'm kind of with you. There is no time then.
Exactly.
Especially if you didn't have gravity.
If there's nothing, and then take that a step further, like I was saying before, if in the universe nothing at all changes in an instant, did time actually happen?
I'm inclined to think no, man.
I'm inclined to think no. That would be called.
That's what I was
that would be called stopping time.
Right.
Pretty much.
When there's nothing to measure.
Yeah.
You don't need it. You can throw it out the window.
When there's nothing to measure, there's nothing to measure.
Right. When there's nothing to measure, no change, no before, no after.
No, that'd be the ability to stop time.
More or less, yeah.
The only thing I know that does that is an Infinity Stone. So
Infinity Stone or Quicksilver, but he doesn't actually stop time.
He slows down time.
Well, it's not that he exists outside of it in his own.
No, he isn't manipulating time.
Well, he's not manipulating it, no, but he kind of exists outside of it and perceives it.
Yeah.
He's able to perceive it faster.
He exists outside the physical boundaries of time.
Right. It's not just perception, though, because if it was just perception, he wouldn't be able to run fast.
Right.
He'd just be able to, I see this thing coming at me, and it's just taking forever to get here.
So there's so much to time travel. We're starting out right now. We're talking about space and time, and there's so much to it. When you just talk about, hey, what's time? Oh, it's 2:50. No, man, that's not what we're talking about. Is what time your clock shows.
Time is so complicated.
There's so much to it, and like I said, even the more I learn, the more confused I get.
It
with
really
this
is.
Shit. I mean, it's it's hard.
It's almost like the human mind isn't ready to grasp this aspect, and honestly, that might be a good thing.
Here's how I put it for the general public.
Fair enough.
The general public can't wrap their head around fucking the time change, like daylight savings. Like, oh, am I losing an hour? Am I gaining an hour? Does this mean like my weekend's longer?
Yeah,
people have enough trouble with that.
How can you expect them to take on something like space time?
Adding an hour to your clock, nothing really changes.
No, but your mental perception does,
right?
And your mental perception is everything.
It's just so hard to wrap your head around it.
It is. It is.
And you start shit like time travel and paradoxes, which we'll get to in one of the other parts here. It gets real hard to keep up with.
Right. This was just our initial theories, which is pretty much like everyone else's initial theory. I never really thought about it.
Right, that's what I said. So he's posing questions that I didn't think of in my research, like what is time, and that's shit. Like,
if you don't understand time, you can't even begin to think about how to travel it.
Exactly. So
fair enough.
If you don't understand it, you can't make a mechanism to traverse it. So every TV show, every movie you've ever seen, they all got a different take on how to make their time
with as much
device.
resistance as I gave you for that question, what is time? I think it was absolutely necessary and pivotal to this episode because, like you just said, if we're going to talk about time travel, you have to understand time before you try to traverse it.
And since nobody truly understands time, that's my point there earlier where I said I don't think it's possible because we don't know.
Right.
I mean, we don't even know what time is.
Exactly.
So that's when I saw that on the question. I sat here for a half an hour giving that a good thought.
Understand the question.
I really did. I really did.
Is something.
Right. Did you even just to put your head into the question, not to answer it?
Yeah,
but to put your head into the question.
I mean, my brain hurts.
Right. There's a, like I said, you guys, we reserve the right to be wrong on this because there's a lot at play.
There's a lot of people online you should watch on YouTube to get an idea.
I mean, what we're doing is we're giving you the best. Basically, synopsis.
Yeah, I don't like telling people. I don't like telling people when you do your
fools of ourselves.
Not the
fair enough.
Yeah,
we probably sound like idiots, but I don't like telling people like.
But we're giving the opinion that we found out and that we've researched.
Fair enough. What I'm saying is I don't like telling people do all your research on YouTube. But there are some really good short YouTube videos that give you a great example
just be
of
cautious
this stuff.
at what you see and believe.
That's what it is essentially. Is when you do your research on YouTube, you got to be able to know going in that there are bullshit. There's bullshit there, and you got to learn to pick.
You always got to.
Dude,
always double check your words.
I watched this series called, I think it was like Through the Wormhole. It was really
Morgan Freeman. That's a great series. No. Through the Wormhole.
Maybe it wasn't Through the Wormhole then. It was a cartoon series.
You'd remember Morgan Freeman.
And it was really good. It was like 3 hours worth of content on how time worked, and at the end of it, after I watched all of it, they spun it into a God angle, like a Christian type.
Fuck.
And I was.
Hey, what's wrong with that? I'm telling you.
I mean,
your idea of religion is skewed.
No, I know, but I just hate it when people try to use God or religion to explain things. Well, that's the deal. Just because you don't understand it right now does not mean that we won't get the answer sooner or later.
Well, we're not doing a show on faith, so I'm not.
Right, fair enough. That's my whole deal with that. I just don't like when we can't explain it. So God, that's the end. That's their first logical step is religion.
That's a way to. That's always been a way to explain the unexplained.
And again, if you take in Neil deGrasse Tyson's words for it, if that's how we operate, then God is an ever getting smaller pocket of scientific ignorance. Well, that's all God is. If that's how it is, if we're just using him to explain things we don't understand, then he is an ever residing pocket of scientific ignorance. That's what God is.
Let me throw a couple more things.
Is that a bad thing?
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying soon enough there will be no need for him because we'll understand everything that we're using God to explain.
That's going to be a problem.
They don't need.
No, you're right, but I'm just saying you're right.
That's presumption.
Well, you're talking God. That's an inner peace. I'm
not saying that, but I'm saying a lot of people that use that to explain certain things, like, got to be God. We don't know how it happened. Evolution. Nope, can't explain that. Got to be God. So I just don't like using him because you don't know. Because if you don't know the answer to something, you can't just automatically say God. That's my whole thing.
Well, it's a way to explain the unexplained.
Hey,
I know.
I agree. I don't agree with what he did there, but I'm
the
saying
cosmological constant. I mean, it happens in science. So
Michio Kaku just came along with the same thing, and he was just saying that he has evidence that there is some sort of creator.
Let me ask you this: can you have existence without time?
Can you elaborate a little more? Be a little bit more. I mean,
well, without time you can have no change. If there is no change, does existence happen?
No, that means time
static.
That means time stops, and no, you cannot.
What if you've got a rock here, and of course it's not changing, not moving, not nothing, but it's still there. So it is existing without changing or moving.
But your frame of reference has to include the entirety of reality, not just the rock.
Not if there's not enough mass to create gravity to make time, right?
If your rock is all of reality. No. Well, then it would have to be at absolute zero, so there's no
molecular movement or anything.
If there's any movement at all, then
you have time. If there's anything going on at all, period, You've got a time.
I'm gonna go back to the
You
Quicksilver
have to.
thing. Now, if he completely stopped time there, that's kind of what you're talking about.
Kinda.
Oh, okay.
Is that you?
That was me.
Sound like a mouse on a Harley right through here.
I farted. There,
Well, that's one way to kill a thought.
On that note,
Right.
One more thought
I think it's time to take a break.
Before we get to a break, I got another little thing. That existence and time is the greatest conspiracy there ever was.
Oh, how so?
Because why do things exist? You know what I mean? Who knows this, and why are they not sharing it with us? There doesn't have to be an existence.
That's a deep thought. Yeah, elaborate
There
on
could
that.
just be void. There does not have to be an existence.
Okay.
And if there is a reason for it or a how, and it was done by anything, then it's a conspiracy against anybody on this plane.
No.
You don't think
And-
so? Time isn't just straight physics. You think it?
I'm
was,
not saying that. I'm just saying that
you're
it doesn't
thinking
have
time-
to be. Existence doesn't have to be.
You think it was manufactured
I'm not
by,
saying that.
by man?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying it may have just happened.
Just happened
may have just-
accidentally in a way.
That's hard to believe, isn't it?
That'd be hard to believe.
But if there is somebody out there that can answer that question and they're not telling us, it's a conspiracy in my eyes. If there's any kind of God or if there's any kind of greater being that knows and is keeping it from us, that's the same as the fucking shit going down closed doors and government
Again,
lane.
now, so now people.
There's a Bible.
So now
but
people can
Written by
relate.
man.
that
My man, fair enough. So
that explains it.
A lot of people
but-
can relate nature to God. So, and another thing, God,
don't.
I'm coming right back to Neil
I
deGrasse
don't.
Tyson on
Nature
this.
is physics.
Okay, so great. That I like where you went with that. So Neil deGrasse Tyson says, just because we can't understand something in a lab and can't recreate it or reproduce it, doesn't mean nature has a problem with
Right.
recreating it or reproducing it or even understanding it.
The thing about nature-
and I only say that because a lot of people can relate nature to God. So what I'm saying is, just because we don't get it or understand it, we can't directly go to God. But that doesn't mean nature had a problem.
No, actually, the
doing it at all.
That's what Druids believe. The Druid. You've heard of the Druids. I'm
Druids,
sure.
yes, of course.
Yeah, that they worship the forest. They worship nature. Nature. That's what they did, and they believe kind of the same thing that you just said there.
Really?
Yeah.
The time belief is all
I mean,
over.
don't get me wrong. The Druids. I'm pretty sure that belief is gone, but.
What, Druidism?
Well, yeah. There's any more practicing druids?
Well, they are really
setting a course for
really there are. If you think about it, like, I mean,
Druids aren't like a specific sect. Of
but no, if you ever seen
You didn't catch that.
anyone who's
Yeah,
familiar with
Spaceballs.
anyone who's familiar with Mick Dodge, how he lives in the wilderness, anyone who's familiar with the people that choose that for a living, to go out in the wilderness and build a log cabin out in Alaska.
Yeah.
And
Where are you going with this?
This is Druidism.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a
Just
type.
being in love with nature.
Exactly.
So
Being at one
I
with
gotcha.
nature. The Indians believe
Right.
the same
We're
thing.
way off the time thing, though.
Right. Well, right.
Forget
But that's why we're having 4 episodes
Hey,
here, because
I
we're
gotcha.
explaining
We knew
stuff.
we was gonna
and that's
All right.
we knew we were gonna be getting off.
you led me down
You
this
get-
path.
You
Thank
get
you.
my point, though? Is that if existence doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be in existence. And if there's somebody out there, it's got to be a conspiracy. If there's any kind of intelligence,
If anything-
at all.
yes,
And
yes.
Since there is the nature and existence follows and does not allow the breaking of its rules,
Right.
it seems.
And I like how you
intelligent.
brought the conspiracy angle in on this too, because that's
Well,
the
well,
kind of
you-
show
well,
we
you
are
got-
on.
It's
Yeah.
above us all. Like the government can't say nothing. Martians can't say nothing.
No, right.
Well,
and that's the thing. So if there was, sorry, but
No,
I got
go-
this.
no,
If there
fire
was
it up, fire
something,
away.
if there was something, some intelligent designer or designee that did all of this, we would never know. He would never tell it. He or she or it, the omnipotent one, would never tell
Which is
us.
exactly like
we would never know.
the attitude that the government would have with us for any of their fucking behind
any of their
closed doors.
cover-ups, yeah, because they're never going to tell us. We would never know.
We're just shit. We're lower level, and
Oh yeah.
I mean, we got to think about it. I mean, this is show what? What do you know exactly? How many shows?
26.
26.
28, 27.
something like that.
Okay, and this is the first time
Lot.
we've even come up with the concept of what is time.
Right.
So,
I mean,
and,
we've
and,
never
and,
talked
I,
about-
and I'm sure
Really,
and
this
I'm
is
sure,
a deep episode because
and
we
I'm
generally.
sure smarter people than us have probably thought this out before.
Oh yeah.
So,
But what is time question?
absolutely.
We generally don't get into.
We're the last people to come up with this.
Exactly.
Shit,
That's my point.
There's people going to be emailing us, go, look, you fucking idiots got this all wrong.
I
Okay.
can't wait for those.
It's 3:45.
Hey, Sean, what's your email address so people can email you directly?
Oh yeah. You want my phone number too?
No, that's fine. That's fine.
All right, guys. Well, unless you guys got any objections, I feel like we need to wrap up part 1 of our time travel.
That was
You know what? I'll travel back in time. I'll do the outro over. You guys
There
ready?
you go.
There you go.
All right, I'm here.
I get
so
it.
I think unless you guys got any objections, we will wrap up part 1 of our time travel episode.
No,
Drop.
that was all banter and preconceptions.
I think so. But remember to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Surreal Talk. You can also find us on Twitter at Surreal Talk Show. We've got a pretty heavy following on Twitter recently, thanks to Big E. Yeah, shout out.
Actually,
Shout.
I want to set that straight.
Uh-oh.
That's not my doing. That's our guy, Tim.
Tim, the man.
Tim really helps us out on social
Thanks,
media.
Tim.
He's
Shout out
really
to
good on
Tim.
there. He's learning our stuff. He's doing a good job for us.
Also,
Right on.
you
Thank you,
can
Tim.
find the live video recording of every show on YouTube. All you have to do is search for Surreal Talk, and you will find our live streams because we're live streaming every show from here on out, baby.
Oh yeah, baby.
Yep.
Hey, try to make sure if you go on our YouTube to subscribe on our YouTube.
Oh yeah,
At
subscribe.
least 100
subscribe.
subscribers to get our URL, which is we're kind of stoked about.
What? Say it again.
I think we need at least 100 subscribers on YouTube to get our own YouTube/Surreal Talk.
Oh, okay.
So right now we're youtube.com/channel/
So give us a subscribe so we can get our own URL.
And you were saying, Eric, it was free. It's free to subscribe.
It's free. It costs you nothing.
Absolutely
Costs you nothing but a ding in your pocket when we upload
So
videos.
what? 30
That is it.
30 seconds of my time.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Search us. Also, remember to give us a review on iTunes, which we had a really great 5-star review this last week. I want to go over that right now. A guy sent in, he said, this is what did he say? Exact words.
Oh, it was good. I like this.
It was a great podcast, very informative with some funny guys.
Yeah, we really appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. So all of those feedbacks make us feel real great. So give us a review on iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean. Download us on Stitcher, Podbean, iTunes, Google Play, or your favorite podcast provider. Also, give us 5 stars. We'd love it. And if you have any questions or any comments or anything at all that you'd like to talk to us about, show ideas, things we screwed up, things we didn't do enough of.
Longest outro ever.
Longest outro ever. That's all right. I'm letting them all know. So let us know, and you can email us at info@surrealtalkpodcast.com. And like I said before, please subscribe. That's our bread and butter, baby. And thank you for listening. This has been a Surreal Talk, a lineupmedia.fm production. Oh, yeah, baby.
See you.